The three videos I chose are different in all aspects. They're different in the stories behind the people, they're different in the people themselves, they're different in what these people believe in. And I really, really liked all three of them. I will start by talking about Dr. Wen. Dr. Wen is a Chinese woman who has a specific belief that doctors should be able to fully disclose to their patients. This belief and the fact that she created a website has totally outraged the medical community amongst the doctors who absolutely do not believe in what she stands for. They went so far as to hack her home personal email, call her racial names, tell her to go back to her own country when in fact she is indeed an American. She got bomb threats, just all sorts of ugly, ugly things have happened to her. And yet she still pursues this belief that doctors and patients have the most specific bond, and it needs to be open and it needs to be trustable in order for them as doctors to fully treat their patients. She says that there is an epidemic in the medical community, and she explains this epidemic as a sickness of fear. And if you really think about the points that Dr. Wen makes, it really is a sickness of fear. It's a sickness of fear of being known. And she goes on to elaborate through her own personal stories, and she uses humor to really captivate the audience, to showcase how strongly she feels about the fact that patients should be able to know their doctor's values, to trust their doctor's opinions. Because, like she says, why would I want to go see a doctor who is fully supportive of abortion and not supportive of women's rights? Why would I want to go see a doctor who doesn't believe in the same medical guidelines and treatments that I do, that I would specifically want for my family? Why would I want to see a doctor who would push a treatment on me that they don't even believe in themselves? And it's just amazing the research that she's done and the way she showcases how doctors and patients are so different, but yet so much alike in what they're looking for. Dr. Wen is a strong woman, and she really makes a strong point in her efforts to convey the message that doctors should fully disclose their values, and I agree with her. The second video I chose was a Black woman who is by all means just as strong as Dr. Wen, and her name is Verna Myers, and she does an outstanding job at pointing out how undiverse we are in a diverse world. She goes through and really, really, really shows how everybody, not just white people, not just Black people, not just Indian people, not just Native American people, not just Asian people, how we all inadvertently look at Black men as negative, as a threat of violence, whereas if we were to walk down the street, most of us would cross the street or go the opposite direction of a young Black man because we associate such negative thoughts and associate violence with them. And she makes this wonderful point, and she does it in the best way possible. She shows successful black men to the audience. Men like Will Smith, Martin Luther King Jr., President Obama. She goes through all these various men and really drives home the point that black men can be just as successful as everybody else. She does make reference to the Trent Martin case, the Ferguson case, and she does state that if these were white people, these wouldn't be happening. I'm not sure if I agree with her or if I disagree, but the points that she makes really make you want to think about the diversity around us and how it's important to have this and how it's important to treat everybody as equals, even though we're not equal. The third video I chose was two men from Rio, Dre Urhan and Joran Koolhaas. And their story showcases how they took art and turned art into a community collaborative monument. And that's exactly what they've done. They started with one painting and it became an entire city full of murals on these houses. And they brought the community together in Rio, even when Rio was going through police and drug lord wars in their streets. I mean, in the video, you can hear them shooting at each other, and it's really, really scary to know that they were in such a position, and yet they still created something beautiful out of it. They even went so far as to taking this idea and broadening it. They've been to other countries and started doing this idea. In fact, they were asked by Pennsylvania to come into Philadelphia in one of their very well-known low-class suburbs and paint murals on the walls of the buildings there. And it became such a collaborative effort between the community and these two men that it has just taken effect. And they have such a broad idea where they've realized that during the process, they've created connections with people, making more important the connection that they were creating between these communities than the actual art itself. And these two men are fully capable of creating such a diverse community project that they have looked at the bigger picture and they have ideas to keep this going. And so funny that they've done this because it's honestly taken on the whole life of itself. There is other communities that are actually doing this project without them there. They've taken it upon themselves, these communities, to collaborate together and paint murals along the walls. It's really an effective program that I think they didn't realize how much it was going to develop over time and over countries. And they used a lot of humor. All three of these people used a lot of humor to help captivate their audiences, keep them interested. All three of them used self-stories and experiences from their lives to showcase the point that they're trying to get across to the audience. And all three of them did an amazing job in telling their stories. And I hope that each one of you would take time to actually watch these short films. I think the longest one was like 20 minutes, but they were really great. They were captivating. The Verna Myers, she almost had her own self in tears. She's such a strong woman and she believes so passionately in what she was talking about that I thought she was going to cry. And I thought that was really moving. Thanks for watching.